Yay! We actually did it. Oh, it's been a very Susanistic day today. I knew we were going to have trouble starting the stream because I was just on the channel prior to getting the stream started, and it was one of those days where everything is glitching out. You couldn't see any of the information on. I couldn't see any of the information on any of our videos or anything like that. So I knew it was going to be a Susan day. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully, hopefully whatever Susan was struggling with, the struggle has been completed. Hey, Spicy Burrito and Brother A's here. DJ Games and Willie Krusty Bomb. Planning it on Susan. Zeno Claudia. Board says, just entered your online class? Come on, Board. Like I always say, priorities. Teachers, professors, whoever, they'll understand. What could possibly be more important than hanging out with, a creepy old guy on the internet? It doesn't seem like anything could be a bigger deal than that. He did try punching the screen. I've been close to it a couple times, Trevor. It's just I don't want to. If it weren't for the fact I really don't want to pay for another one, yeah, it would have happened by now. Hey, Michael, good to see you. Pour the water on my head. Licks. With headphones on? That could be electric. That could be a short. It could be an interesting stream that way. I'm surprised. Oh, I'm sure a lot of you guys saw the poll I posted this morning at the YouTube channel. Well, I shouldn't say I'm surprised. That doesn't really surprise me that much. It seems like everybody enjoys the more interactive games and these chat streams more than anything else, which is fine with me. Especially that goddamn Among Us. I'm really surprised by how much fun that was. I thought it'd be a good time. I didn't think it'd be as addictive as it is. But this way too, I think what we'll do is whenever we talk, like the other day, whenever we talk politics or anything that's like general pop culture or current events, excuse me, I still have a podcast site. I think I'll upload them as podcasts too. Barry says, "Hell yes, I brought extra fanny pack or bought extra fanny packs for today." Yeah, it's very very important that you have your officially licensed sticky stuff fanny packs, because everybody knows that you're not cool unless you wear a fanny pack. Duh. See, the Blues gets it. He says, "I'm in school, but I saw this and realized this is more important." Who could possibly argue with you on that? What, a teacher's going to say, whatever their lesson plan for the day is more important than this? Come on. Hey, Windhelm's gonna go grab a beer. Good idea. It can't hurt with what generally takes place on Fridays. Boom Morpho says prison rape Saturday. The only issue I would have there is you hate to have prison rape limited to just one day. Because if you call it prison rape Saturday, then people feel like awkward. They feel like they can't prison rape on the other days, and I don't want to make anybody feel awkward. My mom wears a fanny pack that holds her 357. Lane says that's why I used to have years ago. Whenever I carried a handgun, I had a 357. Depending on what I was doing with it, I might sometimes load it with 38s. But yeah, I had a 357. Money in my mind says fanny packs chumps. I bought a bucket. I don't. Wait a second. You guys are coming up with a significant amount of storage space there. I don't know if my old ass can accomplish filling all that for. What the hell? Bring a 55-gallon drum. We'll give it a shot. Prison rape every day. Johnny says, yeah. You hate to limit it. Absolutely. Lick says Spaz Voice makes for better sex ed than most school taught classes. Yes. I'm not sure that all of the learning here is factually accurate, and certainly it's inappropriate, but there's a lot of it. So, what we lack in quality, we make up for in quantity. Ha ha. Willie says, screw your bucket. I got surgery for a bigger throat. How does that surgery work? I don't know. Till the end of time says, my 3-month-old dog Pepper just passed. Wait, I'm not sure I'm understanding you, pal. Till the end of time, my 3-month dog Pepper just passed an other dog Gash. I'm not sure what you're saying. Are you saying that your dog Pepper died? Passed? Oh, if that's the case, that sucks. That's something that my wife and I were talking about the other day. Our giant dog, our Mastiff Uma. It's tough because she's such a lovable dog, and you enjoy having them around. But their life expectancies, those Mastiffs, is so short. It's kind of sad too, because you're always. It's like, yeah, we're not gonna have her for very long. It's rough when you lose your pet. Henry says a guy walks up to a windmill and asks the windmill, "What's your favorite genre of music?" And the windmill says, "Well, I'm a big metal fan."
Oh yeah.
Oh, how I love horrible puns. And I don't know why. I always have to. I've told you guys this. We always get new people in here, but I've told you guys a million times. I love terrible puns, and I love jokes that have far too much of a setup to make the payoff worth it. Zeno says, "Hello, can I have $100? Be appreciated." I guess you could have $100. Anybody? Let's see. What's about 100? I'm lost on that one, board. Why are we not? Look at our. I just got looking. This fucking Streamlabs is starting to piss me off too. Again, we don't have our chat in our little chat box here. In our little chat box. What's the fucking problem over here? We already did all that. I'm just looking. All right, let's hide it, then put it back again, and just see what happens. And then it catches up. Between Susanisms and now Streamlabs fucking up every so often. Jesus Christ. Brother E says, my friends and I just scripted the idea for a lesbian video game. Yes, I will be in line to purchase that. Don't need to know any more than that. Kyle says, hey Curtis, want to hear a joke this election? Can't disagree with you there. Isn't it sad that well, we talked about it yesterday when we were in the political stream, but it's true. Isn't it sad that with all the what do we got in this country now? 340 million, 350 million people? With that many people in the nation, these are the two we came up with as the primary choices for president? What the fuck does that say about us exactly? Barry says, I need your legal advice. Uh-oh. So my job normally pays me $12 an hour for 48 hours a week. But last week I worked 106 and they only paid 9.5 an hour. Can they do that? Is there a law about overtime? I do know this because I used to be a union rep and stuff. I do know there are laws regarding overtime pay, but it's state by state. I don't know what state you're in. And they vary widely, but I don't know of any possible way they can pay legally. I don't know of any state where they can pay you less per hour because you worked overtime. Now, see here I don't want to give you guys bad information. In New York, I don't remember if it's a law or if it is a commonly agreed to in union contracts, so on and so forth, terms, but it's anything over 8 or 40, in other words, more than 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, pays at time and a half if you're hourly. They get away with, all across the nation, they get away with all kinds of stuff if you're salary. And they can just pretty much raw dog you if you're salary, which is absolute bullshit. There's a lot of the labor laws that need a real close inspection and reformation. But I've never heard, Barry's, of any place where they can pay you less per hour because you worked more hours, unless your salary. But just from the way you're describing it, I'm assuming you're not, because you're giving me hourly rates. I'll watch for you, Barry's. What state are you in? We'll let's get on this for Barry's. Let's find out what state he's in. We'll research online, because that sounds like bullshit to me. Connor says, hey, Curtis, serious question. What do you think is the best age difference for dating? I don't think there is one, Connor. I think it all depends on the individuals. I don't think, you can even make a general statement like that. I think as long as both are consenting adults, I believe that you can make well, put it this way, either both consenting adults or both consenting minors. Those two should not go across their borders. But outside of that, it depends on the individuals. Some people, younger people, enjoy the company and romantic company of older people, and vice versa. So there really is no set numbers. Chrome says, so curious, Curtis. Any thoughts on how the last debate went? Who do you think won after the mess was over? This debate, Chrome, I think went exactly as we all could have foreseen. I don't think there were any surprises in it at all. I think it was poorly structured on the part of the moderator and the organizers in spending so much time on COVID, only because, not that COVID-19 isn't a huge idea, the pandemic of course is, but you just covered it ad nauseum in the last debate. So basically a lot of what we heard for the entire first half hour was almost word for word rehash of what we had heard in debate number 1. So that was on them. I don't think there were any surprises. Yeah. I think if you're a Biden fan, to Biden won, and I think if you're a Trump fan, to Trump won. That's my take on it. There certainly wasn't a slam dunk in it. Mega Project says, I've been rewatching DBZA. Damn, I forgot how good it is. Oh, Mega, yeah. God, and it'll always have a special place for me too, because it's the first anime I ever watched. But yeah, geez, the brilliance of the writing and the voice acting. Oh yeah, it's the best. Barry says, job's not unionized because I'm a home health carer. Overtime, Pennsylvania. Okay, I know you have a lot of similar laws to New York. Overtime here in PA is time and a half. When I called, they said they lowered the hour rate because they can't afford to pay. Oh, no, you can't do that. When you call and they said they can't afford to pay that much, that's absolute horseshit. No. Oh, I wish you had a recording of them saying that. I think I can say, without knowing the individual laws of every state, I can say with a great deal of confidence that that's illegal anywhere. No. Oh, I would be, I would be going to your labor relations board. Absolutely. I would be reporting them for that. You absolutely can't do that. You agreed to take that job at a certain rate. They don't get to fluctuate that because they decided they don't want to pay you that much. Oh, no. Oh, Barry's is a stream boss, too. Yeah, don't put up with that, Barry's. No, you gotta, you definitely got a question on that. But I would call the labor board, your state labor board. No fucking way. No way. Money in my mind says, and again, they avoided the Hunter laptop stuff. Yeah, you knew that you had to see that coming. Listen, the mainstream media, and that event was set up by a mainstream media outlet, are going to stay away. The only way they'll address that is if between now and the election somebody gets arrested. Then they'll have to, I think. But outside of that, they're not going to address it. They're not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. They're not going to do anything that's going to take a chance on hurting their candidate, because they've clearly aligned with a candidate. Dragon says, back in 2016, America didn't want a vagina in the White House, so we voted for the other side of the taint. Dragon says, there were so many things in 2016 that could have shifted that vote. Well, obviously, because it was so close. I think if Hillary doesn't use the word deplorable, I think she really could have won. I certainly believe if she would have just fucking shown up in the Rust Belt, just made an appearance, I think she would have won, because the numbers were so slim in Trump's favor. But she wants to blame everything but herself, so. Let's see. Think about it. Zeno says, have Donald Trump or Boris Johnson? Eh, uh, that's the thing, Zeno. It's just amazing, as we said. With so many people in the States, so many people in. I'm sure you guys feel the same way in England. So many quality people in the country as well, that this is what we come up with for our choices for president. I don't know. Barry says it's complete horseshit because the agency is paid by my mom's insurance, and the insurance agrees to pay the agency that much per hour because that's the insurance proves how many hours you can work. Yeah, we have something very similar here because, of course, my daughter's multiply disabled, my stepdaughter, and so we have staff that comes into the house. Now that money that staff is paid is actually money that belongs to my stepdaughter because of her disabilities. So yes, I understand what you're saying. No, that's it, and it doesn't. In your case, pal, the circumstances don't even matter. You just simply cannot do that. People, you can't say, okay, you get $12 an hour. Okay, I'm going to put in a ton of hours. Well, now you only get whatever $10 an hour because we don't want to pay you all that. You did too much work. No, you can't. That's against the law. You can't even have a sliding scale. I know in New York it isn't legal. I can't believe it's legal anywhere. You couldn't even sign a contract saying, okay, or sign on to a job saying, your normal pay rate is $12 an hour, but if you go over a certain amount of hours, you understand that you get paid less. I don't think legally you could even do that. Not that you did sign anything, but I don't even think it's legal to do it. Again, you're not salary, so I would challenge them on it, absolutely. Omega says, I have no interest in this election. Biden should be retired and Trump is a joke, not even a good one. There's a lot of people, Omega, who completely agree with you. Who see that my problem is I wouldn't have as much of a vested interest as far as between the two of them, because again, being as close to the middle as I am, my problem is not, or I shouldn't say problem, but the reason I'm voting for Trump is not Biden. It's because I fear the influence the far left can have on Biden. If Biden is left to his own devices and own ideas, I still favor Trump's policies a little, but it's not a big deal. So that's where I'm at. I mean, Biden is not showing me in any way, shape, or form that he is unwilling to be bent to the desires of the extremists in his party. And that's what bothers me. Omega Stream Boss now. Board says, where I worked before, $14 an hour, check was regular. If someone worked overtime, they would only pay $12 an hour cash. People take that because they didn't understand overtime laws in Ontario. It's bullshit. Wow. See, now here, Board, in the U.S., they would get in trouble for switching you to cash. That's a major problem. Major problem paying out in cash here. You can do it in certain circumstances, but there's a whole slew of hoops you have to jump through. Yeah, that's of course I don't know anything about Canadian law, but yeah, Board, that would absolutely, our laws would not allow for that. Yeah, that whole shit of if you work over a certain amount of hours, we're gonna pay you less. Holy fuck, that's as slimy as it gets right there. It really, if you can't afford to pay the rate that you hired someone on for, that's because then you're not operating your business properly. You're a fuck up. Jeez. Oh, really? Michael says the Animaniacs reboot returning on Hulu. I like the Animaniacs. That was a fun cartoon. Yeah, I like that. Andrew Lolavar is here. He says, I think that if Trump wins, that U.S. should get rid of public polls because both in 2016 and 2020, I wish U.S. had multi-party system instead of two extreme parties. Yeah, I don't think the parties are extreme, Andrew. I think elements of each party are. That's what's unfortunate. But I don't like to come to defense of pollsters because I think there's a lot of flaws in polling. But I think they're up against it right now because you have to understand too. You got people organizing online, a lot of conservatives encouraging one another to lie to the polls and all this stuff. So it is becoming increasingly impossible to come up with an accurate poll because people just aren't going to be honest with you. Because a lot of people just don't don't like polls. So they'll get together and coordinate giving false information, trying to skew the numbers and delegitimize them.
Oh yeah.
So they're up against it. I'm not a big fan of polls for those reasons. Plus, a lot of the polling companies, and this goes both ways. It's not throwing stones at one side or the other.
Oh yeah.
Clearly try and leverage their polls towards one candidate or another. Money on My Mind says, I'm in the process of getting my real estate license in Illinois. Oh, cool. I'm hoping to move on to something bigger and better. Hopefully, any tips on getting clients? I just know so little, Money on My Mind, about the real estate business. I've never really been involved. I mean, other than the obvious one of just promoting yourself all you can through any social media contacts you have at all, on Facebook, Twitter, any place that you got a social media presence, even if it's just family and friends, making sure that people know that you got your real estate license. Outside of that, I don't know really what to tell you, but you will get a lot of word of mouth or even word of digital mouth pop from doing just that, because as long as you make it abundantly clear, and don't forget to remind people that you now have your real estate license, then the people that are out and about run into somebody going, yeah, we got to get another house. Hopefully that clicks in. It's like, oh yeah, you know what? That's the only tip I could give you right off the top of my head, my friend. Dragon says, I wonder how many people on the left will refuse to vote because their candidate didn't get the nomination. Well, that was a concern.
Yeah.
You're right, Dragon. That was a major concern coming out of the primaries. Of course, well, we saw those fights online all the time, especially the Burners, Bernie Sanders' crew, because a lot of them feel, and with solid reason, a lot of them feel that Bernie got screwed twice. I think he got it worse in 2016 than he did 20. And you guys know, I don't even like Bernie Sanders, but let's call it the way it is. He got screwed bad in 2016. That they're concerned a lot of them will stay home. The only thing they've got going for them is people's just absolute hatred for Trump. But otherwise, I do think there will be a number of people stay home because their candidate didn't get the nom, though. Yes, I agree with that. Zeno says, I've had the whole money situation before at work. During the virus, they did pay us the rate in the way of overtime, but they changed it so the overtime we take time off without pay. Yeah, see now that stuff you start falling in here in the States. You start falling into individual state law whether you can do that or not. So I don't know what to say there, but it's just skeevy. That's a scummy way of doing business. It really is. And those are the things that give employers in general a bad name. That sucks.
Oh yeah.
Aaron Day Toker says Biden and Trump plus barbed wire steel cage equals problem solved. I'm okay with that. I'm more than good with that one, pal. I think winner take all. I'm fine with that. That would be entertaining as fuck. And hopefully when it was all over, both of them would be incapacitated. Demonic Jester just took over the stream boss. He says, what's the difference between a truckload of bowling balls and a truckload of dead babies? You can't unload a truckload of bowling balls with a pitchfork. That's so very, very wrong. Yikes. All right, I like that one. That's a good one. Dragon says Biden versus Russo in a laptop on a pole match. Are we talking about good old Vince Russo, the legend himself? Yeah, Maddie says Vince Russo the GOAT. Johnny says there are people in my family that gave me shit for saluting Trump when he came to my post. They got to understand that I'm saluting the position he holds rather than him. And I think, Johnny, I can honestly say I believe this is the only time that I've seen in my lifetime where things have gotten that over the top hyper partisan, where people would actually give a military member shit for that and not realize exactly what you just said, that you're saluting the office. It's frightening. It's scary. And you can't even have, you guys saw a lot of it yesterday, and some of it spilled over into the comment section of the stream we had yesterday. People can't even stay on topic when you're talking about anytime you bring up Trump specifically, I mean, it's just balls out insanity for so many people. So while we're trying to have a conversation about whether or not the media has basically forsaken itself and given up any pretense of being honest journalists, the conversation kept, you guys saw it, kept trying to go to Orange Man bad, Orange Man bad, Orange Man bad. What about this? He did that. How can you worry about whether or not they're reporting on Biden because he did that? And it's like, I understand you hate Donald Trump. Has absolutely nothing to do with what we're talking about, but people just can't get away from it. And that it bleeds over into every part of life now. Henry says, "Hey Curtis, sorry if this is a dumb question, but what does goosh mean? Is goosh just a euphemism for did somebody explain it to you, Henry? Because it has, I don't know, you put never mind at the end. It has a very specific meaning here. I don't know but it goes to Tokyo Tribe 2, the anime, and a legendary scene, the only scene I know of from there, but it's one of the great scenes in all of anime. I'm willing to say that just having only seen that individual scene." Hey, Spazdev. Brother E says, "So Curtis, the idea for the game is you start a lesbian harem and make it so big that you turn it into a viable political constituency." You had me at lesbian harem. Whatever comes after that is fine because I'm already hooked. Zeno says, "Difference between Trump and Boris? Nothing. Seems to be, Zeno. To be honest with you, I don't have a ton of knowledge about Boris Johnson, but the little bit I do know, yeah, they do seem definitely connected at the hip." Kaylin, did I say that right? Kaylin or Callan? Our 8-year-old daughter, Josie Jackson, was diagnosed with cancer this year. My wife and I love your channel. Can we get a shout out for prayers? Oh, by all means. For any of you who are the praying type and want to offer up some prayers, by all means do so. Prayers wouldn't mean anything for me because it's not part of my personal belief system, but I certainly send you my best wishes and hopes for everything to work out as well as is absolutely possible. That's horrible. You guys know how I feel about anything bad happening to children anyway. I mean, God, that's awful. That's just terrible. Zeno says, "I legit wasn't listening, but did he say lesbian harem? Take my money." That's where I am, Zeno. Yeah. Again, the other stuff that comes after, I'm sure will be fun, but who cares? You got me. And Alexa says prayers going out. How old will I be in 10 years, Caleb? I'll be 6. I don't even like to talk about it. I'll be 69. Cool number, though. In most cases, 69 is a number worth celebrating, but not when it's your age. Curtis, do you know what's the difference between a G-spot and a golf ball? A guy will actually search for the golf ball. So that's pretty good. I like that one. That's pretty good. I like that. Xander says, "Curtis, who's Dom and sub, Biden or Trump?" I think they're both just a bunch of, I think there are a couple of cucks on the sideline, both of them. He not orangey gold, Max says. You guys are funny. Alexis says, I was on a Would You Rather website last night, and because I'm a dumb high school student, I couldn't answer this. Would you rather be convicted as a corrupt politician or a corrupt Fortune 500 CEO? Well, if you're going to be convicted anyway, I'd rather be a corrupt Fortune 500 CEO, because you would think if you have been able to achieve that status, that level in the business world, you probably are smart enough to have a lot of money tucked away in secret places where when you get out of prison, you're going to be living the good life. Or at least your family will be living the good life while you're in prison. So that I would go that way. Whereas we all know that politicians are not by design under any obligation to be among the best and brightest, so they probably would be less likely to have a solid plan in place. Zeno says, "Should he said, Alexa, and my damn thing turn off the lights." Yeah, definitely CEO, Trevor. That's what I'm thinking. again, if you've achieved that level in the business world, here's hoping you're smart enough to have money put away, hidden away. Oh, Madman says, I'm normally not a fan of fast food, but damn, I could really go for some of McDonald's fries right now. There's got to be something crack-like in the recipe for McDonald's fries, because it's same with me. You know, it's something that I'll eat because it's quick and it's easy, and you know, we always have a lot going on. But rarely do I find myself wanting it. You know, like, oh man, I could use some McDonald's, and except for the fries. You're right. There's something about those goddamn fries. Madman says, actually, scratch that. I'd rather have Wendy's and Rally's fries. Rally, I've heard of those restaurants. I've never eaten one. Fuck, now I want a whole meal from both Wendy's and Rally's combined. What I like Wendy's fries. The only thing, the Wendy's near us, at least, I don't know if this is something that they do throughout the company, but the Wendy's closest to us tends to oversalt theirs a lot. A lot. Let's see. Looks must be responding to somebody else. Goosh does not mean junk. No, it does not mean junk. It has it has a specific meaning, and it involves your junk, but it doesn't mean junk. Excuse me. Dominic says, do you play Among Us? Yeah, we play it here on live streams. As a matter of fact, we just put up a poll, and it's so overwhelming. If it was close, I don't know which way I would have gone, but it's overwhelming that people voted they'd rather see the interactive games like Among Us and Fall Guys and stuff like that. And that way I'm still able to incorporate more of these type of streams in. And I could tell too yesterday, because a lot of that came after yesterday's stream, that I know some people aren't into politics, but there seems to be a significant part of the crew here that really likes political and or topical streams as well. And I enjoy those too. Demonic Jester just became stream boss. All right, hold on. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Or no, he has been stream boss. Okay, hold on, Berries. I did catch that. Okay. Prior post, not the one talking to Brother E. Okay, Berries. Where you at, Berries? Okay, there's one talking to Brother E. Oh, there we go. My mom placed a call into her insurance rep because the insurance rep can go back to the insurance company and tell them about it, and then the company will go at the agency to get me paid correctly. There you go. Yeah, there. Like I say, there has to be a workable solution to that, because they simply cannot do that. They just can't fucking do that to you. Absolutely not. Freaking companies, man. It's just amazing how they're okay. Prior post, we did get that. How they just assume they can get away with whatever they want. And they won't get called on it. One in my mind says crack is whack. Unless it's good crack, then it's okay. Let's see. Alexis says I would have taken Fortune 500 as well, because at least before I got convicted, I was probably rich as hell and driving Lambos and Corvettes all day and spending time with fancy hookers, right? And like I say, Alexis, you would think, typically speaking, in the situation you outlined, if you were corrupt, the getting in trouble with the law never came as a complete surprise to where, as a Fortune 500 CEO, that you would have been shocked by it. So you would think, as most seem to do in those situations, you would have been putting away a lot of money in hidden accounts so that when you get out, the party can continue. The Madman says, I was on a date with my girlfriend one night. On our walk to the movie theater, a man stopped us and offered me a lifetime supply of goldfish if I relinquished the love of my girlfriend. Oh, I hope you guys weren't too close. It's a lifetime supply of the goldfish. Well, here we go. Loving relationship or goldfish? I chose the goldfish. I am now single and I regret nothing. Well, hey, it's a lifetime supply of goldfish. You would think she would at least understand, priorities. Yeah. Henry. Hey, Curtis, what did the grape say when it got crushed? Nothing. It just let out a little whine. Oh, I love terrible jokes so much. Chrome says, so how are you enjoying finally seeing original Dragon Ball? Oh, it's so fun. Plan on seeing the reactions to it tonight. Yeah, I was surprised because you guys know I've seen a lot of clips because you guys have recommended most of them to me years ago. And I didn't realize the whole pat, 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 Bulma's got no balls scene came up that early, right in episode 2. Yeah. It's a blast. It's just so fun being around those characters. Uh, Blues. God asked me if I wanted a great memory or a fancy car, and to this day I can't remember which one I chose. Yeah, Big Green says Goldfish, sign me up. Yeah, yeah, and Big Green, he was talking, he's talking lifetime supply. I mean, seriously, what's the girlfriend got to offer that competes with a lifetime supply? Come on, easy call. Goldfish, the animal or cracker? I didn't think to get. I was assuming it was the actual swimming creatures Wolverine, but you make a good point. But I think he still made the right call either way, because goldfish crackers are pretty delicious. Hey Leslie, good to see ya. Willie says, did you see that Pewds? Yes, I did see this. Supposedly got shadow banned. Some people think it was just a glitch, but knowing YouTube, he probably was, and they realized they fucked up and reversed it. Yeah, I'm kind of torn on that one. I'm not sure what YouTube's gain would be to shadow ban Pewds. And again, you guys know me. I don't make it a habit of sticking up for YouTube by trying to be fair about everything. I'm leaning towards a glitch there. I just don't see why they would go at him like that. And the other reason I'm leaning towards it being a glitch is because YouTube glitches fucking constantly. That's why it took me several tries to get today's stream going, because of the consistent glitching of YouTube. So for any time that an explanation is potentially YouTube glitch, that's a real possibility. Hey Dominic, thank you. I appreciate that, my friend. Let's see. Glad to see you back to reacting to Dragon Ball clips. Show says, keep up the good work, love from the God's own country. Excuse me, sorry guys. Yes, I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying I'm enjoying watching in full context Dragon Ball, and it's only 2 episodes, and I'm just looking so forward to it. And you know what's actually a good thing? This is gonna sound stupid, which you're not. You guys aren't unused to that being here, but it's true, and I'll explain why. Today's that I posted immediately got claimed by Toei. The monetization got claimed, and that's a really good. That was like a relief to me.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds stupid, but the first one didn't. And the reason that it's a relief when it does is as long as they don't take an action on any of those videos, there's always the opportunity that they're just going to come in and say, hey, we don't want you doing this, and they're going to block them. And that would suck. So once they actually do take the monetization on the video, then I can feel pretty confident that, okay, that's their policy, so we do get to continue doing them. So, I mean, as perverse as that sounds, it's true. When I uploaded the video and I went to refresh the page and I saw that the monetization thing had turned red and it said, this has been third-party claim, basically, I was like, whew, it looks like we're going to get to watch Dragon Ball. Because certainly on a series that old, there's no reason to believe that, during later episodes, they're all of a sudden going to block them or something. That seems to be their policy, so it looks good for being able to continue with it. Anime Dolphin says, last year my friend put shaving cream in my shoe as a Halloween prank. This year I'm working on getting him. The logical thing to me is to duck his cat. Certainly makes sense to me, pal. I think that's absolutely the obvious direction you should go. Madman says, ironically, people who ironically say ironically do not understand the meaning of the word irony, thus ironically using wherever they see ironically fit. Ironic, huh? Clearly. Kyle says, sex is like math. Add the bed, subtract the clothes, divide the legs, and pray you don't multiply. That's pretty good. Uh, Zeno says, "Oh, sweet, you're watching original DB. I'm assuming that's on Patreon." No, that's what we're talking about. Zeno is the more edited up versions of the reactions. It looks like we'll be able to get through on YouTube. The first two are up at YouTube. Now the longer reactions are at the Patreon, but there is a version out there on YouTube. And again, that's what I was talking about is now that Toei came through and claimed the monetization, that's typically a good sign that we'll be able to continue it. Let's see. The difference, Oink says, the difference between Trump and Boris is that Trump is a 70-year-old that looks 70, and Boris is a 50-year-old that also looks 70. Yeah, Boris is... I'm with you on that. Boris is not a healthy-looking sort by any stretch of the imagination. I completely agree with that. Ty says, I like Among Us, but it sucks I won't get to play with you because I work all weekdays. Well, sometimes, Ty, I'm certainly hoping to put some on the weekends. Just weekends tend to be a little more busy for me. Now, like this weekend, I'm pumped because later this afternoon, Spaz Kid's coming home from college, and he's going to get to spend a couple days here. But there will definitely be times where we play on the weekend. That most certainly will be. I'm just checking now. I want to make sure Spaz Kid isn't... Nope, he's still out at school. I just want to make sure he wasn't on his way here yet, but he said it'd be later in the evening. Anthony says, Curtis, what are your thoughts on the debate? Again, just no surprises. I don't think that debate moved the needle for much of anybody either way. I think pretty much everything that took place in that debate was just, again, exactly how we thought it was all going to unfold. Nothing surprising at all. Let's see. It's weird how we used to like, Lick says, Bojo as the funny hobnob man before he became prime minister. Now everyone hates him. Well, I don't know. I know, wasn't Boris... What was his political background, guys? Wasn't he? Was he London's mayor? I know he held another office. I know that's Sadiq now, I believe, but I'm trying to remember what major office Boris held prior. Was it London mayor? I can't remember. RA Studio says instead of having overtime in a football game, players from both teams with the most field goals should duel with pistols. I have to admit, I would be tuned in for that. Yes, that would be, as far as I'm concerned, that would be great for ratings. I would definitely watch that. Yes. Brother, he says the lesbian harem helps you through various forms of psychological manipulation until you become the governor of the state of California. You would also have an option to operate a trafficking ring. Well, there's no question I'm taking that option. Sadiq the villain is mayor. Okay, what office did Boris hold though? Oh, he was London's mayor for years. Sadiq Khan is a piece of shit. I met him once and he was a complete dickbag. I know, again, now, when I say this, Zeno and everyone, I'm not giving an opinion. I'm just telling you we have a very large UK contingency here. And I don't think I've ever had anybody have anything positive to say about Sadiq, to be honest with you. At least to me, again, I'm sure that's not indicative of the entirety of the region, but it tells you something anyway. Yeah, he was mayor. Okay, that's what I thought. I was trying to remember because I knew he had a significant position in politics before he became prime minister. Diego says, do you ever plan on playing some Among Us with voice chat with Discord? I have no plans on it specifically. I don't see what voice chat would add to it, really, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know why we'd need to bring voice chat into it, particularly if you're going to bring in everybody in the lobby. You're just going to have a lot of confusion while people are talking over each other. Hey, Steve. Good evening. Have you had sexy times? I wish. Sexy times a long time ago. Thomas says, what are your thoughts on what Tom Brady has done with the Bucs? So they're a contender, Thomas. I mean, they are. You know, he looked great last week, but he looked good. And I've never seen Aaron Rodgers look that bad before. I've been a football fan forever. I've never seen Aaron Rodgers look that bad. And it's not, I don't mean that to be a slap against him, because any athlete's going to have bad games no matter who you are. I just was shocked to see Aaron Rodgers looking that lost, because he had those 2 picks, and then he had the third one where he hit a guy in the secondary. I don't remember if it was the corner or the safety, but he hit a guy right in the numbers and he dropped it, or he would have had 3 picks. And all game, Rodgers just didn't look right. He just looked out of sorts, and you just don't expect that from him. Omega says, so maybe somebody can answer this for me. Is Halloween happening this year? Depends on where you are, Omega. Surprisingly, here in New York. Oh, Omega, you're stream boss now. Here in New York, Herr Cuomo has okayed it. So yes, we are having Halloween here, but I think it entirely depends on your location this year. Anthony says, who's your favorite NFL team? I hate to admit it, but it's the Cowboys. And they not only are they bad, now they're coming unglued too. Everybody infighting with one another and everything. They're well, I was gonna say they're a joke, but let's be honest, the whole NFC East is a joke. So at least they fit in perfectly. Trevor says, where did Chase Claypool find this performance? Not complaining at all. Listen, my friend, I'm telling you, because you guys know I'm a Notre Dame fan, Trevor, get used to it. Chase Claypool has a huge upside, because what a lot of people don't understand, he's from Canada. So when, because I follow recruiting closely, everything to do with Notre Dame football, I follow closely. Well, not much of anybody was recruiting him up there, because you could see that he had freakish abilities, but generally the competition, the high school competition level in Canada is nothing compared to what it is down here in the States. So a lot of the top schools were like, yeah, okay, that's fine. He's doing good, but look who he's playing against. And Notre Dame's coaching staff was saying, listen, this kid has got some serious abilities. Now, he didn't even, he started playing rather, later on. He's a kid, but later on in his life, he's not one of these kids that started playing right from Pee Wee ball. So this kid is still learning. He was still learning when he came to Notre Dame. And in his final year and a half at Notre Dame, he started dominating people. And the thing is, he's still learning the game. So the Steelers got a beaut in this kid, and he's as good a kid as you're going to find. He's got his head screwed square on his shoulders. Good guy, likable guy, and his athletic abilities are through the roof. The Steelers got a steal in the draft. They absolutely did. Omega says, more importantly, is Halloween a good idea? Oh, I think Halloween, as with everything else, you got to be, Omega's a stream boss. As we do in our everyday lives now, we got to be aware that the virus exists, but I think Halloween's an easy one to pull off. If you're going to hand out candy to kids, and if you're masked, and certainly it's easy enough to be masked anyway when you're on Halloween, if you're masked and handing out candy, it's pretty much safe as it gets. Again, we know that while it is possible for the virus to be spread from person to object to person, it's highly unlikely. It's typically always through droplets in the air or droplets exchanged in skin-to-skin contact. So handing out candy, is extremely, extremely limited risk. And I think the things that are extremely, extremely limited risk, we need to take part in, because, this whole being isolated, this whole being shut down thing is just playing on people's minds so much. Any place we can get a little bit of normalcy, I think we have to do it. Chrome says, I'm pretty sure Halloween is canceled in Scotland and probably Christmas. They're speaking about a digital Christmas. Yikes. Also, bars and restaurants are on lockdown and keeps being extended. That I did hear about, Chrome. That's frightening. Trump did have one thing one thing during the debates last night that I do agree with. And I've been saying this since the start. I understand how serious the virus is, but as we're learning who it affects the most, we also have to remember he wasn't wrong. You can't let the the cure be worse than the disease. And if you keep everything locked down and you start destroying economies and you destroy all these livelihoods, we're already seeing the huge uptick in suicides. We're seeing a huge uptick in domestic violence. There is another there is another concern other than catching the disease itself. And unfortunately, again, we have so many times in our society, especially here in America, where the extremists are the loudest. The ones who are saying, fuck that, masks don't work, we shouldn't be wearing masks. And then the other side you got, well, you just got to lock everything down till it's gone. Both are stupid. Both are equally stupid. Just goes a ninja built-in mask, right, Big Green? Zeno says, Ruth mentioned the government have taken away the money here in England to free school meals, so some kids aren't going to be fed well over Christmas. That's sad. That's really sad. If they're that paranoid, just apply antibacterial wipes on each wrapper. Right, you can do that too, Omegas. Yeah, you're 100%. You get your kids, if they were that paranoid as you say, you get your kids' candy home and just wipe it all down. Absolutely, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
But again, we know from what the doctors, the scientists, the CDC has said, that it seems to be very, very unlikely that it goes from person to object to person. So I think the threat at Halloween, especially if people are just be smart about it, I think it's very, very limited. We're going to have plenty of candy here, and we're hoping kids come. And, when we go to the door, we'll either have on Halloween masks or a face mask or something, and, we'll just let kids pick from the bucket. U.S. Salt says it's simple. We simply deliver the candy to the children using white vans that say free candy on the side. Well, that's what I'm for. Good candy, though. You guys that have been here a long time and remember the good candy video know it has to be good quality. It's got to be name brand shit. But other than that, yes, I completely agree. We're even talking about, just to make it fun, but we like seeing the kids in their costumes. We're thinking about setting up a thing right from, we have our front porch. I was going to take some PVC pipe and set out a little tube that cuts an angle up the porch, up to where we are at the door. And we could just take candy out of the bowl, and the kid could put their bag or their bucket right down at the end of the PVC tube, and he throws some candy down, and it just shoots into it. Just to make, we just thought that'd be funny, not just only for the social distancing, but we thought the kids would think that was something cool and fun. Here's a synopsis of the game. Okay, let me look at this quick, guys. Let me copy that. You play as the one in California. Game will be 2D pixel cartoons, vector graphics. Maybe sex scenes. Get Patreon money. It seems to get Patreon money. Yeah, really. The game will be a system which will have certain action points in turn. Your traits will determine what action you can take. Yeah. Hey, listen. Like I say, but I'm not a tough sale on that anyway, brother E. Like I said, you had me at lesbian interactions. I was sold. Yes, I do. I remember that, Chrome. Sadiq is the guy who said terrorism is part and parcel of modern city life and basically said we should get used to it. Yes, I do remember that. Also, he has the police off the streets and monitoring Twitter instead. Oh, that's good. That seems like a really good idea. Yeah, I don't have a lot of respect for him. Just based on, specifically on the quote that you just quoted. Zeno says, anyway, enough depression, LOL. I want to get raped in the candy van. Yeah. At least that way something's happening in your day. Dolphin says Halloween is basically the same type of exchange as going through a drive-thru. If fast food is possible and Halloween is possible. 100% correct. Good point. Excellent point. Yeah. Yep. Excellent point.
Yeah.
It is, like you say, exactly the same thing. And you make a good point, even safer, because all the candy is wrapped. I mean, somebody is actually touching you, in a sanitary manner, but is actually touching the food product. Whereas here, all that's being dealt out to you as far as human touch is on wrappers. I was just trying to figure out, Omega says, if it's worth buying candy for the kids. Yeah, it probably depends on where you are, Omega. We're afraid that our numbers will be down because we enjoy seeing the kids in their costumes. I don't think it'll be down too awful much here, only because where I live has been largely unaffected from the start by the virus. We haven't had an outbreak up around where we are.
Yeah.
So people feel more comfortable because they know that the odds of it even being in the air here are very low. So I'm hoping that we get a good number of kids out there. Zeno says, if you say candy rape 3 times in a mirror, Biden shows up and molests you with a candy cane. Genesis Kaiser says, the way to ensure social distancing, bring out Jason Voorhees. We'll stop those rowdy teenagers in a cornfield with that. Yeah, exactly. Oh, all right, guys. I just looked at my time. I got it. I got to head out. I got a couple things I want to get done around here before Spaz Kid gets here, because once he's here, I like to be able to spend time with him, to see him as often as I'd like. But if I should get to stream over the weekend. If I do, you may see him in the background here with me. Who knows? If we get to do some Among Us, I'm sure he'll play along with us as well. But Free for All Friday, man, there's nothing better. I don't care how difficult Susan made it to get the stream started today. It's Free for All Friday, so I'm happy. So yes, and we will be making that switch. You guys saw the poll. It's overwhelming that people like the interactive games and these chat streams. So I'll change that on the About page, to reflect that. We won't have the regular gaming schedule anymore. It'll be interactive games, occasional gaming, and these chat streams. And we'll incorporate some political and topical streams as well. And those I will start putting out as podcasts also. And I'll explain that to you when we get to them, where if you're a podcast fan, I'll tell you how you can find them if you want to subscribe to them. All right, guys, thank you again. It's Free for All Friday. Oh, and you'll be glad to know. Now, after yesterday, we had that political stream, and I admitted to you, I was trying to be honest with you. The sticky stuff yesterday was kind of tainted. It was kind of stinky. It had the stench of politics all over it. Today, it's just primo, high quality, Free for All Friday sticky stuff, and it's good shit too. Let me tell you, this is, oh yeah, this has been brewing up in the Curtis factory while it's running at its most optimum. So you guys, I know everybody's got their officially licensed sticky stuff fanny packs on, and again, it might not hurt to have a 55-gallon drum. You're gonna want some of this. Get ready. Get prepared to sell your extra on eBay, because why not make a few extra bucks? It's worth it. Here it comes. Pamfu. Sticky stuff. Free for All Friday sticky stuff. Do you see how it has a nicer arc when it comes out than yesterday's did? It's kind of sparkles, like a vampire in those stupid fucking shitty vampire movies. What the fuck were they called? Oh no, I'll keep dealing the sticky stuff while I try and remember it. What the hell were those? What were those? Oh, man. I'm going to have sore wrists. I'm going to have sore other stuff. More Free for All Friday sticky stuff. I'm going to come up with this. What were those vampire movies called? I'm going to have to do this for a long time. You guys know my memory. What the fuck? Keep catching. You're getting lots of extra. I'm getting raw. I'm going to think of it. What were those movies? What was the Sparkle vampire movie? Twilight. Thank you, Maureen. Man, I was having crazy. They sparkle like the lame-ass vampires in the Twilight movies. That was a lot of work for that joke. There it goes. Because we'll bang, okay? Flashing like Buggy. And as always, most importantly, even when my forearms are tired, goosh, 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 goosh. Goosh. Count Chocula.